We just had our last Cash Cup before FNCS qualifiers start up, and once again saw a Peterbot and Poyo masterclass. And in this video, I'm going to go over yesterday's Duo Cash Cup and talk about which teams are hot or cold heading into FNCS on both EU and NA. So let's get right into it. Starting it off on EU, in first place we have Sandguild and Marius on 310 points. Sandguild and Marius are looking like one of the best duos on EU right now, getting a first place this week and a third place last week. And in this Cash Cup, they get a second place in both of the last two games to help get them first place overall. The come up of Marius has been crazy to watch over the last two seasons on EU. I think Marius is having a Vino type come up right now on EU, and it could just be a matter of time before he wins an FNCS on this region. He's been looking insane recently, and I can't wait to see if he can be this consistent in FNCS as well. Next in second place, we have a new duo, Chap and Teeny on 296 points. Chap and Teeny in the last two games got 2 wins with 9 elims in one of those games and 10 elims in the other game. So they finished the tournament going crazy, but sadly Sandguild and Marius did a little bit better in the first 4 games to help them secure the first place overall. Chap and Teeny look pretty good so far as a duo. They also got first place in the re-ran Cash Cup on EU, but that one sadly also got cancelled, so it doesn't count. So we'll have to see if they can get first place again when that one is re-ran again next week. Next in third place, we have Vortex and Belusi on 274 points. Just like first and second place on the leaderboard, Vortex and Belusi had a pretty solid finish to the tournament as well, getting a 7th place, a 5th place, and a 6th place to finish out the tournament and end up finishing in 3rd place. Next in 4th place on EU was Hurris and Skeevy on 272 points. This is one of the more underrated duos on EU right now, and I think heading into FNCS, this duo is going to keep placing consistently. And then rounding out the top 5 on EU, we have Wheat and Shimoki on 252 points. I think Wheat and Shimoki will be one of the better placing EU teams in Grands this season, and they get a 5th place in the last Duo Cash Cup heading into FNCS. And then looking at some of the bigger name teams on EU, we have Vino and Tayson in 10th place, and Seti and Cami in 13th place. Once again, these two duos were pretty contested in finals, so we didn't really get to see what they would have done if they were uncontested. I'm not too sure what to think of these two teams as of right now heading into FNCS. I'm still not really moved by Vino and Tayson, and then Seti and Cami haven't really had a chance this season to prove that they will be better than last season. So still a lot of question marks with these two teams. But now let's get into the NA recap, and in first place once again is Peterbot and Poyo on 421 points. They started the tournament out with a 4th place, a 1st place with 14 elims, a 1st place with 14 elims again, and another 1st place with 10 elims in the first 4 games. Peterbot and Poyo at one point won the last 8 out of 10 games on NA and Duo Cash Cup finals. And once again, they were contested, and this time it was by Kwani and Chubbs, who were supposed to be the saviors for NA here off spawn, but the first 4 games just didn't go their way and they died off spawn, and then in the last 2 games, they did get the upper hand on Peterbot and Poyo and won off spawn. Now, I don't think it was a dominant off spawn win for Peterbot and Poyo, but it was a 4-2 win nonetheless. I just think they used a couple of strats that they haven't been using in scrims, and it worked in their favor. Whenever they didn't win the 50-50 for the chest, they did swerve and they played their life, and it ended up helping them win a couple times off spawn when they wouldn't have if they would have 50-50 the chest. So just a good performance out of Peterbot off spawn. I wouldn't really say Kwani got destroyed at all off spawn. Peterbot still ends up winning the tournament in 4 games. They are going absolutely insane right now. Look at this streak they are on currently. They have won the last 3 Duo Cash Cup finals and have also won the last 2 opens as well. So they have 5 straight first places in Duo Cash Cups right now. Truly one of the greatest Cash Cup runs of all time for sure. And now moving on to second, we have Threats and Sphinx on 354 points. A really solid tournament for them, getting a 2nd place with 9 elims, a 4th place, a 5th place, and another 2nd place to help them get 2nd place. Sadly, they don't get the win though because Peterbot and Poyo exist. But nonetheless, a really solid tournament heading into FNCS for this duo. And then next in 3rd place, we have Adriz and Booga on 323 points. They won the last game with 10 elims to help boost them up to 3rd place. And Adriz and Booga could have really used this performance heading into it, as they were looking pretty average. Adriz and Booga did get some help with zones in the end, getting a couple Mount Olympus zones to help get these placements that they got at the end. But a solid performance for a duo who could have really used it. And if this didn't happen, we would have probably been seeing some snakes on the NA region tomorrow for FNCS. But moving on to 4th place, we have Baka and Pars on 285 points. Baka and Pars are looking like the dark horse right now in NA. I think they're a really consistent team. and once again proved that in this tourney, winning the first game and then getting another second place and a fourth place as well. For the past couple seasons now, Baka and Pars have been one of the most underrated teams on NA, but sadly they've never been uncontested. But this season it's looking like they are going to be uncontested 100%. So I think we're going to finally see the Baka Pars top 5 in FNCS that we know they could have gotten if they were uncontested the past 2 seasons as well. And then rounding out the top 5 on NA, we have a new duo, Bryce and Bolts, on 274 points. Bryce and Bolts basically only played 5 games due to a lag out from Bryce, so a pretty solid performance in basically 5 games for them. This is one of those new duos from the Kanata and Ager split snakening, and I'm glad to see they're finally getting their footing right before FNCS. It's a perfect time to start getting into your groove. And then now looking at some of the more notable teams on NA, in 9th place we have Kanata and Cooper, in 10th place we have Acorn and Cold, in 11th place we have Clix and Epic Whale, and in 12th place we have Yamzo and Rise. All 4 of these teams with some performances that none of them would be happy with, especially Acorn and Cold being fully uncontested at Fencing Fields. Cold went into this tournament level 25, so Cold hasn't been playing the game at all, and I'm honestly pretty worried that this team might be falling off a little bit because of the lack of preparation and the lack of grind from both of them. Now we could be looking into it too much. They could get it all fixed for FNCS and still do really well, but right now I'm pretty concerned with this duo. And then another duo I'm pretty concerned about is Clix and Epic Whale. Based on the games we've gotten to see this season from Clix and Epic Whale, it just looks like without that hype play that they used so much last season, it kind of looks like they just don't know how to play Fortnite anymore. They also fight for one of the weapon bunkers almost every single game, and it cost them a lot of games as well. So we'll just have to see if they can fix some of their mistakes heading into FNCS and start placing a little bit better. But all of these 4 teams with a pretty underwhelming placement this week in the Cash Cup, so I'm looking for a lot of improvements heading into FNCS for all 4 of these teams. I'm so glad that it's FNCS time once again, and I want you guys to comment down below your favorites for EU and NA heading into FNCS to win Grand Finals, kind of as an early prediction that we can look back on to see who got it right after FNCS Grands. I think a lot of people right now are picking Queasy and Thomas or Trulex and Chicho on EU. And then on NA, it's obviously Peterbot for me, and it's obviously Peterbot for pretty much everyone else. I think heading into FNCS, Peterbot and Poyo are the most favored team ever in Fortnite Grand Finals history. But we'll just have to see how it plays out. Grand Finals can be a whole different game from the rest of the season, so we're really just gonna have to wait and see. But to never miss a recap just like this one, make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel and turn on notifications. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, as it would help it get pushed out to more people. Sorry for no video in like the past 10 days or so. I'm gonna try to drop a bunch of videos for FNCS since it's FNCS season now, so stay tuned for more videos. That's gonna do it for me in this video though. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.